If I could make an educated guess about you, dear viewer, I would say you're a very curious person. You have multiple passions. You want to make the most out of life, so you watch a lot of self-help content. You may be really into manifestation. Maybe you really like astrology or personality tests or something that can help you figure out life's path because you don't want to waste a second of it. And that sucks sometimes. Because here's the thing, I think you might be afraid of making the wrong choice, so you don't make any choice. You're stuck in analysis paralysis. How did I do with that assessment? Did I describe you pretty well? Even if I didn't, I think this video can still help you, because in this video, I'm going to talk about what to do if you're trying to figure out what to do with your life. Now, this is one of the most common requests I've gotten in my comments and elsewhere online, and I wanted to take a shot at it. This could have to do with your work. This could have to do with a passion. This could have to do with any part of your life. I'm going to walk you through some exercises that will help you start thinking in different ways about where you want to go in life. The best and most important tool in your arsenal when it comes to personal development is self-awareness. Self-awareness is a muscle. Self-awareness grows over time, and you can develop it as long as you're asking yourself the right questions. It's about getting to know yourself and being honest in a compassionate way about your behaviors and what you think and where you have to change and where you can improve. Before I jump into it, let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Charlotte, and I'm on a journey to becoming the best version of myself, because why wouldn't I want to be? You know, why not? I really enjoy making content, so I'm making YouTube videos talking about what I'm learning, and I'm always a work in progress. I don't know everything, and I'm figuring it out as I go, and I encourage you to do the same. Don't wait until everything's perfect to take the leap. If you like what I just said and how I'm going about things, please consider subscribing, liking, commenting. It's always nice to know you exist. And I appreciate you being here regardless if you choose to do any of that. So thank you. Also, no, I'm a little under the weather. I have been sick for the past week. I'm finally feeling better. I'm so grateful, even though my apartment's a mess because I haven't cleaned it in a week. But bear with me. I'm going to make this one a short one, hopefully. If you're struggling to figure out what you actually want in life, you might be afraid to allow yourself to want something. This is totally normal, especially if you're a woman. We've been told to have fewer wants in life and to aim lower in a lot of areas of our life. The first step, like I said, is self-awareness, is understanding what you believe your own limitations are. If you think that you cannot access something because you're not smart enough, or you're not pretty enough, or you're not worthy enough, if you're not whatever enough, you're not going to be able to access it. Even allowing yourself to want it will feel difficult for you. So I encourage you to start doing the work in recognizing where those limiting beliefs lie in your brain. All of the narratives that you have built around these ideas that you're limited are false. It's not true. You can do it if you believe you can do it, and you have to allow yourself to believe it. The other thing that I think holds people back is perfection. You want to figure out the most optimal way to do something, the way that will save the most money, or be the fastest, or just be the best in some way. In your mind, at least, it counts as the best. And what I've realized is ultimately this comes from a place of fear, because you are afraid of failing. You are trying to plan out the possibility of failure. And it's not possible, babe. You gotta just do it. You have to just start. Even if you have an inkling of what you want, take some baby steps. Just put a toe in the water. And that leads me into my next point, which is experience leads you to figuring out what you want faster. The analogy I like here is, think about your favorite food. There was a period of time in your life where you had never had that food before ever. And then you tried it, and then you're like, oh my God, that's really good. Because of that experience, you figured out what you wanted. You figured out what you like. Putting yourself out there and forcing yourself to try new things helps you figure out what you do and don't like. And that will help you lead to what you want. A crucial tip in figuring out what you want is notice what stirs envy in you. What is it when you are out and about or scrolling online or watching something, whatever it is, that makes you think, wow, I want that. Wow, she's so lucky that she has that. Because that is a sign that that is what you want. Recognizing how envy feels inside of you can actually be a very crucial part in understanding yourself better. Because sometimes I think people mistake envy for anger. That makes sense. They're kind of close. I'm angry, I don't have that. But I think a lot of people struggle to identify even anger. So getting in touch with your emotions and recognizing what is envious inside of you will help you get closer to what you want. So really taking time to be mindful throughout the day and recognizing, what am I feeling right now, and realizing it's envy, making that mental note like, oh, I was envious of that girl's outfit. That's good to know. And going along with that analogy of I like that woman's outfit, sometimes envy can seem superficial. If you're looking at a woman and you think, wow, she's so beautiful, I wish I looked like that, that can seem very vapid, but it's deeper than that. Every single thing you want is actually you in search of a feeling. Every desire we have, whether it is a new job or a new car or a life partner, whatever it is, you are trying to attain a feeling by attaining that thing. If you want a new job that allows you to work remotely, it means you want freedom and flexibility. Or if you want a new job that makes more money, it means you want security and you want to feel less anxious about money. If you want a new car, maybe you want to feel powerful or important or seeking status. If you want a life partner, you want to feel love. Figuring out how you want to feel is 90% of the battle. And then you have to go along and start to figure out how you can feel that way right now. What are the things that you can do now to feel more luxurious or to feel more freedom or flexibility in your life? The desire will follow because you're going to start trying things, and those things are going to lead to you figuring out whether they're working. That brings me to my next tip, which is survey what in your life right now is working and what isn't working. Get a clearer picture of what in your life feels rich and fulfilling and what in your life feels like it's lacking. What is it about your weekly routine when you go through life that it just, you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. I want something here to change. It can be something small. It can be, I hate all of my clothes and I want to build a new wardrobe. That's a desire. A little mini guide on how to do a life audit would be think about how you spend your time right now. What do you hate doing? Maybe you hate cleaning. I know I do. I hate cleaning and I hate cooking and I don't want to do those things, but I have to because that's what adults do. But maybe that's something you want to be able to outsource in the future, which means maybe you want a little more disposable income to spend on that stuff. Okay, we've figured out why you want disposable income, why you want more money, because this would make your life easier. It would give you back several hours in your week. Maybe it's a little more cerebral than that. Maybe you want to travel more, but your current job is too restrictive because they don't give you enough time off. Maybe you want a new job or a new career path so you can go out and travel more. Okay, look at that. We've just created an entire plan. That is something that's going to take some time to execute. You have a why now. Ultimately, what I'm getting at is focus on your why. If there is a pain point in your life that you want to fix, that is your why. If there is a feeling that you want to achieve, that is your why. There could be 10 people seeking the same goal and they all have different whys. Someone could really want a high-power, successful career because they want to seek status, while someone else wants to feel fulfillment in their work. They have the same desire, but their why is different. And that's going to lead to different results. It's going to change how they get there. It's going to change what they're willing to do. Understanding your why is going to make sure that you're pursuing something that's genuinely meaningful to you and not just a result of you wanting something because of societal pressure. That is going to change your outcome, I promise. If it is coming from a place of actual fulfillment and want, and not just because you want to seek status, it's going to change everything. Think about it this way. Let's say your goal is to be a millionaire. Okay, why? I want to be able to buy nice things. Why? I want people to think I'm successful. Why? And I think if you continue that train of thought with this hypothetical person I've come up with, they're going to get to a point where it comes down to they don't feel good enough and they want other people to think they're better than they feel. That's not a good enough motivation, in my opinion. It's not going to lead to the results that they want. Now, if someone said, I want to be a millionaire because I want financial security, I want to be able to provide for my family, I want to be able to retire early so I can enjoy my life more. When it comes down to what they want, not only are they going to be more determined in and focused in how they go about making that money. Maybe they don't need $1 million. Maybe they just need enough. And once they figured out what enough is, that will help them make better choices and more targeted choices. But also, sometimes in the pursuit of our goals, we lose track of who we are and what we value. And that will lead us to making poor choices that could ultimately, in the end, hurt us. You can go rob a bank and become a millionaire, but you're not going to do that because you have values, right? That's wrong. So let me just talk a little bit about getting clear on your values. This is an ever-evolving process. Your values are going to change over time because your perspective is going to change over time. What I like to think about is having these guiding principles in my life. And one way I look to figure out what my guiding principles are at any given point is I think about what resonates that I've heard throughout my life. There are key phrases that we pick up and they just stick with us, and I think we have to pay attention to that. I'll share some of mine with you. One is from Grey's Anatomy. I remember watching an episode where Meredith Grey is talking and she says, "People are what matter." I'm like, people are what matter. That's true. The people in my life are what matter. People make living worth it, because all this other stuff is just temporary. People are the key. So a guiding principle in my life has been putting people above gain, above profit, above something superficial. Another one is, I don't remember where I picked this up, but there's a saying, who you are is what you do when no one's looking. And I think about that a lot. There's always some shortcut you can take. You might be able to get away with something. That doesn't mean you do it, because that's not who you are at your core. If you would feel guilty telling someone about something you did or said, don't do it. Finally, one of my favorite verses in a poem is from a poem called Comes the Dawn. It's been attributed to a bunch of different poets. I don't actually know who wrote it, but the line is, you begin to accept your defeats with your head held high and your eyes open, with the grace of a woman, not the grief of a child. And that to me says so much with so few words. You can go through life feeling things and not feeling like a victim, not feeling like the world is against you, not feeling like you're hopeless and you should just give up. I think of that quote whenever I'm feeling like I am the biggest victim in the world and like, oh my God, this is hopeless. Whenever hopelessness creeps in, that's victim mentality, because it's not hopeless. It's never hopeless. You are an adult. You are capable. You are able to figure it out. I love that quote. I think about that quote a lot. And I encourage you to go through the things that you've saved on social media or things that just keep popping up, themes that pop up in your life over and over again. You will find a theme for things that resonate. On every social media platform I just have a folder in my saves called things I liked a lot. I don't need to know why I like them. I just save them. And I will go back to that and think like, oh, okay, and you start to see patterns forming. And finally, let me just wrap this up by saying you need to just sit with yourself. If you are struggling to figure out what you want, there is something that you currently want right now. It's clarity. And the reason that you don't have clarity is because you're not allowing yourself to really sit and try to figure it out. Think about how you get to know someone. You talk to them and you ask them questions and you really listen. You try to understand them at a deeper level. You have to do that with yourself. Don't distract yourself with YouTube or with social media or whatever it is. Like, don't take the earbuds out and put it away. Sit still for a few minutes. It doesn't have to be meditation. You can sit there and journal. Don't allow something else to cloud your thoughts. This is why we learn so much about ourselves in the shower or driving. It's because we're not doing something. We're not distracting ourselves with media or with something else. You are allowing your thoughts to just wander, and you are paying attention to them and following the thought. It is life-changing when you allow yourself to pay attention to your own thoughts. It gives you so much clarity. If you are eating a meal, don't put in music or anything. Just sort of allow your thoughts to wander. Or if you're driving, don't put on a podcast or music. Just drive. In the shower, same thing. Just listen to yourself, because you're disconnected from yourself. That's the problem. You need to ask yourself questions and try to figure out the answer, work through it. It's not going to be instantaneous. It might be. You might have some epiphanies. That's why they're called shower thoughts, right? Like, they're just some weird stuff that pop into your brain, but that's how you get somewhere. And sometimes it's so enlightening that what you learn about yourself when you just allow yourself to be with your own thoughts. 2 cliche exercises you can do are, if you didn't have to worry about money, what would you be spending your day doing? A lot of people answer this question as if it's like, what would your job be? And sure, you can try to figure that out, but I don't want you to answer it that way. I want you to tell me what would you do? What would you literally do if you did not have to work? What would bring you joy? That's what you want. The second cliche thing is think about what you want your legacy to be. That can sometimes help you figure out what you want to desire. So think about what the first line in your obituary would be. What will people remember you for? It's a little Hamilton, but you know, it can help. You can even go simpler. I've seen people call this the gravestone method, where you think about what the 3 nouns on your gravestone will be. So loving, mother, wife, and entrepreneur. What are the identities that you have embodied that would be put on your gravestone? I know the obituary gravestone thing is a little morbid, but we're all going to die eventually. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you getting to the end. And if you could like, subscribe, leave a comment, that would be amazing. And if you want something else to watch, I'm going to let the algorithm over here pick something for you that it thinks you would like. So until next time, bye guys.